I am not smart. I don't know what I'm going to do as of yet, and this is all ongoing, so we shall see what happens. I'll give you the whole story, but the juicy parts come towards the end, so I apologize for any boredom in between. I think it's best I give the whole story. Basically, met my fiancée 10 years ago now. She was from another city about an hour away where all her old life and family are. And we have had what I thought was a good relationship, but it has also been a complete battle all the way along. Things like problems with me going out, seeing friends, any female friends I ever have had or any I ever come into contact with are instantly warned off. I always trusted her, so I never understood where this came from. About 1 year into our relationship, we weren't living together at that point. I found texts on her phone one night from one of her friends telling her how he wanted her. All the nasty details. Her sent texts were never saved, so I have no clue, but I figured she was cheating. Confronted her and she completely assured me everything was okay with us and that he sent messages out of the blue. She admitted she went out one night and saw him and he kissed her, but she says she never kissed him back. I completely trusted her and let it all go. She moved to my city and we moved in together not long after that, buying our own apartment. A couple of years later we had a party and 3 of her female friends came and 2 of my male friends from down south were up. Night seemed to go fine. Guys and girls mixed well and we had a good night. About a week later I spoke to one of my friends catching up and he told me one of her friends confided in him and said my girlfriend was cheating on me. I confronted my girlfriend at the time and she said it was because her friend liked me and was looking to get with me. Which actually was believable at the time, as I was good looking, had money, amazing job, the perfect lifestyle. So I thought she was just trying to mess with us. Girlfriend fell out with her friend and that has been that way ever since. She is basically cabin crew in her career. Something I actually was behind her getting into. Later, she seemed to be texting her friends quite a lot, like all the time. I never worried about this as I'm pretty laid back. She would then get texts through and I used to text my friends, but when hers were coming in at 2 a.m. in the morning when we were in bed, I started to get a bit curious. A month or 2 later she decided she wanted to split up, and by that time I thought I wanted my freedom back anyway, so I moved back in with my mom while she had the apartment we jointly owned. I was happy having my life back but kind of lonely at the same time. We split up for 4 months. I now know she split up with me to start a full-on relationship with this other guy, who was supposedly her best male friend. Note, she told me she hadn't been with anyone else during that time and it wouldn't have bothered me if she was. But I also know she was with another of his friends as well. Maybe why it didn't work between them. Emails that get left behind and forgotten about are a wonderful thing. While we were split up, we saw each other every few weeks and would end up bonding. Our time has always been amazing between us. She would have guys phoning and have conversations in front of me while I was round with her, but it didn't bother me at all. I was having fun as well with other girls as I was single. Anyway, I was out with friends one night in a nightclub and I was due to be set up with a girl I'd really liked for a very long time. Although nothing ever happened there. The next thing I look over my shoulder and there is my ex. Kind of drunk, out with her mum, through to see her. My first reaction was to be pleasant, but I wanted to get out of there. She followed me outside, started coming on to me, pinned me up against a fence when I was trying to get away and wouldn't let me go. The only way I was going to get away from her that night was to assault her, and I don't hit girls. So, we shared a taxi and I got her in safe. I still cared about her. She told me she wanted me back and had thought about suicide as she was so lonely without me. I still had feelings for her and said we would talk about it more when sober, and I left. We started talking properly again. Like when we first went out. It was fun and decided to give it another go. Things were great for about 3 to 4 months and then she ended up pregnant. Right after this I found a diary of conception dates and dates we had fun, etc. I was angry at this as she basically got pregnant just to keep me or have a hold over me. I told her I wanted her to have a termination as we just weren't in the correct place and the situation of having a baby for the sake of it wasn't right. I wanted to be married, settled, and do things properly. I also wasn't ready to stop going out and having our lifestyle change. To give you an idea, we would go out most nights, have meals, go to cinema. Always doing something. Anyway, she told me she was having my baby whether I liked it or not, and that was that. If I chose to walk away, I would never see my child. So, I stayed. The diary seemed to disappear into thin air too. During her pregnancy I was always there but felt angry and disconnected, but I loved the idea of having a wee one right after I got my head around it all. One night while I was out with friends I met a girl who I just talked to but never did anything with her. We just swapped Facebooks and left it at that. From that day I never spoke to her again until later. Girlfriend had the wee one and I was right there and all great. I absolutely love my child to bits and she is my life. A few months went by and we seemed to disconnect again. I would stay in looking after the wee one while she went out with her friends a lot. I started speaking to the girl I met, but only online. It seemed fun. It was good just talking to someone as I wasn't getting to do anything. We weren't talking a lot, probably once a week, but as time went on, roughly 8 to 10 weeks, we would be flirty, have longer conversations. It started talking about physical things, then she started emailing. I decided I was doing something completely wrong and stopped talking to her completely. Blocked her on Facebook and never have spoken to her since or been in contact in any way. In summer a while back, girlfriend decided she wanted to get back to being slim and wanted a personal trainer before going back to work. She found one local who was male and started sessions with him. She was off work on maternity leave and I would end up having the wee one, please note. It was me paying for the personal trainer. He had a fiancé, so I never thought to question any of it. I later found out she was bumping into him out when she was on nights out, but was never really told anything. An event came up where he was involved and I ended up getting dragged along to it. She was constantly following him about all night that night. We were meant to go out after the event, but his fiancé fell out with him and I later found out she accused him of cheating with my girlfriend. I didn't have a clue what to think, but she assured me nothing ever happened. I never saw them again. He was still training the girlfriend and all of a sudden, she found emails on my Hotmail account and went through the roof. I got called a cheater. She told everyone I was having an affair. I know I was doing something wrong and it could come across as cheating, but I accept that. I wouldn't have called it an affair. I knew I was doing something wrong and chose my girlfriend and child and wanted to be the best dad I could be. I was always there for the wee one and would do far more than my fair share as well as work. She fell pregnant again not long after this came out. Had a termination without telling me, and it's only when I found something out from hospital did. She admitted she ended the personal trainer sessions due to a problem with him using gyms, and she joined a proper gym. She put us straight into relationship counseling as well, where I told absolutely everything about our relationship to the counselor. We probably did this for 3 months and the counselor seemed to agree with me almost 90% of the time and found girlfriend has mega issues, split up childhood etc., and girlfriend decided no more counseling as she didn't like what was happening. She wasn't in control, I guess. Anyway, girlfriend went back to work, worked away for about a week at a time, probably 1 week away. 4 to 5 days home, while I worked, stayed at home and looked after our wee one. When she was away, we would speak on the phone every night. Majority of it would end up arguing etc. She would come home and first moment through the door was a continuation of the argument. No cuddles, kisses or anything. I don't even know what any of the arguing was about. Things seemed to get good then go bad over and over. Things changed in the relationship. We hardly did anything together ourselves, although we did try and make time together as much as possible. Once wee one was in bed, we would sit and watch TV together. We were still having fun, actually being friendly and trying to deal with my affair, so to speak. I was given what I can only describe as beyond hell for it. Anyway, after about 18 months, 8 to 9 months ago, she finally changed jobs and based herself in our city. Things got a lot better and I really have tried. She still goes away, 2 nights away here and there. But things seemed absolutely fine between us. I had a D-Day in December to get engaged to her. Relationship wasn't brilliant, but I chose her, and although I didn't believe it was best going forward, I got her a temporary ring, with a view to buying her a really expensive one later, and we got engaged. By this point we were looking to buy a house. Well, June happened. Everything was going so well, but she had to go away for a week for training to her old home city. She told me she never went out, but I found out later she went out with her best female friend, and things just seemed to get strange. She came home and had a night out with some of her friends, and I got a picture sent through to my phone of her. Like, here is 2 pictures for you, but there was only one. 3rd week into June, it was a family weekend, so I was at home and walked upstairs one day and found her taking pictures of herself in lingerie. She gave the excuse that she was happy with her body after going to the gym a lot. Had a new personal trainer, but female this time, and wanted to take some pictures. She then went on another night out with her best friend, an old hometown, Friday night, and I was working the next morning. She said she would be back early but never turned up. Her mom was away and she was staying alone at the house. I phoned both landline and her mobile, but no reply. I was really worried, going out my mind. She was supposed to be home 9 to 10 a.m. to get our wee one. I never heard anything and canceled work and took my wee one out for the day. We had a lot of fun. Fiancé called me up at around 3 p.m. saying she was still drunk and had to drop her best friend off in town and would be back not long after that. She finally got home around 6 to 7 p.m. At the end of June, we were going to an event in her hometown, but the night before she went out with one of her friends, who is supposedly my friend too. She got really drunk, thought I was asleep, and proceeded to drunken text and mistakenly call while laying right next to me. I saw something about a physical thing in the text message, but I pretended to sleep. Next thing she is up running to toilet being sick and then falls asleep on couch downstairs while her mobile is with me upstairs. Well, I went through everything, texts, emails, Facebook. Turns out she had fun with a guy and was chilling with him all day long when she should have been back home for our daughter. Also turns out she had been texting a pilot, swapping pictures, etc. Her Facebook says she is single for all the home city. Work friends, privacy settings, found loads of texts from around 6 to 7 guys saying she is single and up for it, etc. I got in contact with the guy she slept with, but he had slept with so many people he didn't have a clue. I found out she had told him she was single. Pilot thinks she is single too from the text she sent as I'm the ex. I confronted her about the home city night and she told me I was being an idiot and she would never cheat. Swore on our daughter's life in front of her mom, etc. We went upstairs to bed and I told her I had seen her messaging him. She finally admitted it but said she wanted to be with me and don't know why it happened. Said she would never speak to the pilot via text again too. A few weeks went by until last week where the pilot added her on Facebook. I was actually on my own Facebook at the time. And I thought I was seeing things. 2 seconds later it had disappeared, but he was now her friend. I phoned her up and she said she had no clue what I was talking about. I got home from work that night and she was on her Facebook and I leaned in for a kiss and to see what she was doing and she closed the computer. I asked her to show me her Facebook messages, to which I got told no way, they are private. I asked to do the phone swap test and she failed that too. She then came up to bed and told me she was going to her mom's for a night during the week but would take the wee one as she hadn't seen her mom. I was like, okay. I went on her Facebook and found she had arranged to meet Pilot, pay for a hotel herself as he had no money, all the while saying we were giving our relationship one last proper go. Next morning, she changed her mind, but I found out he couldn't make it as something came up. I kept quiet and said, please don't lie to me anymore. Do you really want to be with me? Are we properly in this together? She says yes. Why would you question that? I mentioned seeing her paying for hotel, but I told her I looked at her phone. This past weekend we spent the weekend together properly and her family had our daughter until Tuesday. It was great, all seemed to go perfectly. So much so I took her and bought her a proper engagement ring. She told me she wants to spend her life with me, won't do anything ever again, and we talked about getting married. We were about to bond on the Monday morning when she got called out for a night stop. I think right, we might finally get somewhere and this is the last chance after all. I'm happy. To you reading this you won't understand how convincing her lies are. But I'm not going to be fooled anymore. Tuesday I can't get hold of her as her phone is broken, but I know what time she lands. 1 to 2 p.m. latest. And I phone her mom who hadn't heard from her. I phoned her mom at 3 p.m. who said she had been in touch at 2:15 and she was on her way to get our daughter. I eventually get a call at 5:30 p.m. saying she has just arrived at her mom's and is packing wee one's stuff up. 3 hours missing time. She gives me some made-up story about having a coffee with one of the other cabin crew. She gets home Tuesday night, jumps straight on Hotmail and emails him. I go straight on and take copies of everything. Along the lines of, "We're great to see you today. That was unexpected fun." He emails her back, but he is clever and doesn't give much away. Then she emails him back Wednesday morning saying stuff about dirty details. Yesterday she got a replacement phone and no longer emailing and I can't get near it now. It goes to the toilet. It goes upstairs, etc. Well, that's that and I'm done. I've also found out she was sleeping with the trainer for messages on Facebook until he broke it off when she wouldn't leave me for him. Dates also seem to suggest the termination might have been his. Would I have been expected to raise a child that wasn't mine? I'm honestly the biggest idiot ever. I'm done. I'm going to just gather even more evidence. Believe me, I have absolutely everything so far. I've stuck around for our wee so far one, but I'm going to get legal advice. Not sure what I'm going to do. She's probably been chilling around every time she has gone out or every time she has been away with work. That's how she met the pilot anyway. Above doesn't make sense, but I've found all info out in the last 8 weeks and I'm finding more out all the time. I only found out about the trainer yesterday. I know small one is mine, but I just can't turn my back on her. She dotes on me and she is my life now. I've raised her. I can give her the most amazing both emotionally and financial life going. I have no issues of doing it all on my own. I'd like her to have one more birthday and Christmas as a family. She doesn't know I have access to everything. I'm finding myself checking constantly over the last few weeks. From finding the email yesterday morning, though I knew I was done completely. I'm tempted to completely screw with her now. Keep on the emotional stuff. Make her think everything is amazing. Plan to get married, then blow the whole thing up. I gave up any social life I had when I found out she was pregnant. I've been nothing but a father ever since. She's my world. Not sure how I have been irresponsible. I only found out she truly cheated on me at the very end of June. I've tried to make it work since. As above, I'm realizing now that she is enjoying the best of both worlds. until I started questioning myself on Tuesday and yesterday. I thought she was fully committed. I have no evidence she slept with Pilot yet, only potential plans. Tuesday could have been nothing. I'm totally broken and gutted. I love her so much and it's like I've just woken up. I've always kept my money separate from the relationship and she knew I would make her sign an agreement if ever got married, so not worried about that. Kid is definitely mine. She's away to see her best mate again and have a night out, so hopefully she'll meet Pilot that night and I might get some proof. From what I gather, he knows nothing about me. He is in the same situation as what I will be in. Has split recently and has his own kid. I've not contacted him as I don't want to stop it now if that is what she is going to do. STDs I was checked about 4 months ago and have always been clear. We'll do another one though. Going to see a lawyer next week over child and find out my options. Thanks for advice. Going to do the 180 even though that's what I've sort of been doing. I'm not a loser. I'm a good guy, early 30s, work hard for what I have. I'm good looking, good body and everyone likes me. I have no trouble with girls either. I've just been absolutely screwed over by this one. I've got the ball rolling already with lawyer, using a company at the moment for a business issue, so have emailed her asking who she can put me through to in family law. I've discovered a few more things. Some friends knew about the trainer. One female friend actually started dating him according to her ex, who I've had a brief chat to. No, I can trust him but have only said I was looking to get in touch and did he have contact details. He said he knew why and heard rumors from ex, but she can also lie, so he didn't want to say just in case. I hardly ever see his ex, although technically a friend from about 8 to 9 years back, and never accepted her friend request on Facebook, but I have now. Fiancé wasn't happy at all. Also found out he moved away, knew that, but as luck happens, same friend above put a post up saying he was in town this weekend. I briefly mentioned it to fiancé and she was straight on laptop trying to find out how I knew. I never said exactly and I've been called dodgy. I eventually said and she got all shady saying I had an issue. Well, no, it's because it's obviously all true. I knew that from Facebook message they were having, but it could have been interpreted differently. I'm going to get my family to have her for a few hours and see if I can get invited to where he will be and have a chat. I'm not angry, I just want to record it and add it to the mountain I already have. We'll give you an update on this. I also got accused of sleeping with the girl above, else why would I add her? Fiancé is away on Sat for a night out with her best friend in hometown where Pilot lives. Has also asked me to have we one early even though I'm working so she can go down early and get ready properly. I put my daughter to bed tonight before she got home, so she has probably spent a whole 2 hours with her this week so far. I've spent all the time with her apart from when she is in nursery and I go to the gym then work, so I am getting to do something, but I'm spending time all white time with her as I've always done. She's a daddy's girl. Fiancé has sat on her phone all night from when she got in. I know she is texting him, although I've not seen it. That 180 has worked well. I've not got angry at all, been my usual pleasant smiley self. However, tonight she has also suggested she changes work shift for Monday to do a night stop instead of a week of doing flights all week. She would have to go down to her hometown and be the same situation as Monday, Tuesday. I just told her why that do when she can be at home and see her family. Never got a proper answer, just it's easier than her current shift pattern. I said if she does it, it's her choice and do what she has to do, whatever that may be. Got told you think I'm doing something, etc. I just said no, just you do it if that's what you want. Got left at that. I started texting my friends and it made her angry, and using Facebook. I don't usually do it a lot. I expect she will get up at night to have a look, so I'm going to password it. If she wants to see my phone or Facebook, she can, but I want to see hers. I'm a complete open book and have nothing whatsoever to hide. Her family in a way is like my family and they will be very angry. Her brother is like my own and her mum will be horrified. 180 says not to though, so I'm not sure. I think that is my exit strategy. I run the risk of her mum confronting her and she finds out I know everything and what I have on her, etc. I've added a lot of other family of hers and old friends we used to see to Facebook, so when truth does come out, everyone is going to know. She's not going to be able to hide it as lies. You know, it's the lying that has hurt me the most. She stares me straight in the face, looks into my eyes and says something when I know for a fact it's not the truth. I knew she cheated in June. She said she never lie. She said she stopped texting Pilot. I looked at her phone and pictured every message. Lie. She says everything I now know is the absolute truth and there is nothing that can come back and hurt us. Lie. I also think our mutual friend who works at my gym is in a different category for the privacy relationship status, so might see if she will look it up tomorrow. I have the pictures, just haven't had a chance to see who is in it. Gym girl likes me but me well enough to know I wouldn't cheat like that. Might get rumors going anyway. I know from 180 not to believe anything anymore and just expect the worst. I should really sneak over to other side of bed and grab her phone, but I'll hold off. Can't have another night getting wound up and not sleeping. I'll see if anything comes of Sat. Mon unless she gets up to go to toilet. At the weekend there, even though I knew about one physical guy and texting pilot, I was wanting to make this work not only for me but for the small one too. We've been happy together for years and years, but I know it's done now. I have been lying to myself. I just am not sure when I will do it now. All I have is picture swapping, which I confronted about back in June and got promised no more. They didn't speak for about 2 weeks, then he added her on Facebook. They had Facebook chats. She has no clue I can get into Facebook or email. So last week all I confronted to be the texting after I looked at her phone the night before she was planning to go see her mom and pay for hotel etc. We never really got anywhere with that chat. We knew we were together kid-free this past weekend, so spent it together, and it was amazing again. From what I was told, she wasn't getting in contact again. Then on Tuesday he must have known she was flying out of his base and turned up or bumped into her. I have no clue what happened. She told me a whole big story about having a coffee. Told me her name, but she is like a line checker. The way she was babbling, I knew it was bull. She has told me she hasn't seen him, but I can't say, well, I've been in your emails, as it will give up any future spying until I know for sure. She has already changed password. So then we'll want to know how I keep getting access etc. I know I have enough already, but getting something on pilot, but I want to know for sure. Will be icing on cakes as it's happening right now, and he is being played too. He might be playing her, who knows. When her family, our friends, all know I bought her a proper engagement ring and she is off seeing a pilot in work, no one can say past is the past. I've decided to go dark on her. No more confrontation at all. I've also decided to leave her 100%. However, I'm possibly going to wait until January to do it pending legal advice. I get this next week. 4 months left. Pilot is welcome to her. Daughter has a few special days coming up, including a holiday, so I'm going to give her the best holiday. Birthday and Christmas. I broke down for the first time since my father died today, but not for fiancé. Just realization that I will have to walk out on wee one. Had a long chat with my mum and my best friend today, and I have full support. Her father wants to pay for wedding, and I half thought of that, but no, I can't do that. During this time, I will spend as much time as possible with daughter and prepare her for my departure, so to speak. I think I know now how I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to blow it up for the sake of daughter. I realize she is just holding on to get married, then probably leave within a year whilst playing a game with me. I know she doesn't care about me at all and wouldn't do this to me if she did. She honestly had me until she did that on Tuesday, and her loss big time. Hope he was worth it. She is just holding off for a big payday while she is stuffed now, as you all have helped me see her for what she is. I tried getting in touch with trainer but might have messed up. Either way, I'll deny I got in contact etc. We'll see what happens. Would be good to prove she was chilling with him in our apartment while I was paying his training fees. Well before she found out about my little chat. The boundaries where we would never cheat on each other under no circumstance. The kiss, as far as I'm aware, in the beginning could have been just that. She was out with family that night. I told her then it was unacceptable and to break up if that's what she was going to do. We've tried to keep seeing our friends and some sort of social life, but since we won, mine has just gone to hardly any, and yes, I agree, I've let her walk all over me. She is controlling, and I should learn. When we broke up, but I was a fool. I knew she was having a night out with friends. I never had a reason not to trust her. Never. She gave me enough belief that I never had a reason to question. If it wasn't for her doing the pics in lingerie, then the texting while drunk beside me, I probably would still not know. Once I properly started looking, I found more and more and more. If I hadn't installed the keylogger, I wouldn't have known 90% of it. I messed up with trainer. He wasn't guy I text, but I re-looked on Facebook and found another chat from years ago, where she admits going home with him and sleeping and then waking up in a rush to come in at 7 a.m. Something I went mental at the time, and she said she stayed at a friend's house. She is also meant to be my friend. And I openly asked her the next day, to which I got told she stayed over. Caught. Her friends have covered up for her and lied to me. Also, I have a feeling her mum knows and has been lying now. I haven't decided exactly when. January is just a latest date, as I want to be with daughter for Christmas and New Year. I might not see her for some time. That is the kind of heartless woman she is going to be. I'll know more after appointment with lawyer. A bit of an update. I wasn't going to, and I know I'm completely in the wrong, but I had to know for sure. This is having been like a television drama. I think I should write a novel. Fiancé went out tonight in her hometown with her mum and best friend and a few other friends. I started getting texts through saying, I love you so much, I want you. Then I want to have fun with you. I was like, wow, I've not had texts like those in ages. I still had decided it was over, but I text back and had some fun. Anyway, I had the burner phone with me, so I thought I'll send her a text like that in the form of the one night thing she had in June. I have all the convos. Well, I did. She replied and thought it was him. I carried on. and got to the stage where she was wanting to meet up for some fun right there and then, offered to go back to his with him or get a hotel, etc. I played it further and said, "What would you do to me?" I got the reply, "Put my lips right round your lipstick." She said, "So now?" I said no, had a better offer and talk another time. She then came back with, "I'm on top form tonight, I'll make it the best, you know me, I'm not shy." I thought I could wait it out, but I can't after that. Thanks everyone, you had her cards marked correctly. I honestly didn't think it could get any worse, but I can't believe she fell for it. It's really gotten completely out of hand, I know, but I'm going for an early exit strategy once I have seen a lawyer. I've had some very good advice from a friend who went through a split, although they settled amicably, and sees his kid 2 days a week. Says it was hard at first, but it's easier as time goes on. Fiancé came home in a very angry mood, seemingly bumped into one-night stand last night, but said he tried to come on to her and she said no. Facebook suggests opposite, and because she thought I was him, she threw herself at him, and he has turned around and said, "You have embarrassed me. Never speak to me ever again. Bye." He must think she is a random woman. I enjoyed that. Anyway, mood is because she doesn't know who has texted her, and it's been going on all morning. She asked what I thought about him seeing her, and I said I got past it. As long as he or she wasn't trying to meet up for fun, I have no issue. If she did, we were over. Lied to me again. And I'm just going to play it out and keep winding for now. Most importantly, it's made an appointment with lawyer and citizen's advice. My friend said they are fantastic and full of useful info. Checked out paternity too. There is just checking normally or official legal through lawyer, I would assume. Might do that, as if I go for full custody it could be used in court if it goes that far. I am still thinking some sort of separation would be better and try and get on for sake of daughter. My comment, part 2 ending coming today as well. Give me some time, because it's a good ending. Sub and bell and check out the other stories.